So what's up guys, Sam here, and I'm back with the June edition of What's on my Android, and I've got a lot to cover in this video, some really cool apps as well as probably my favorite setup so far. So without further ado, let's do this. So as you guys probably know, I'm still running Nova Launcher Prime on my Galaxy S6, and as of right now, I have this super simple 2-page setup. One page with all of my icons and a weather, time and date widget, and the second with the calendar widget dubbed month, which has made a return now as the paid edition, and I've got this minimal circle theme applied. So let's start on the home page, and the first thing you're probably noticing is this weather, time and date widget, which comes courtesy of the RL Zupa Collection app, which as you can probably tell by the name is a Zupa widget app. It does in fact require Zupa Widget Pro to work, but there are a ton of super sleek minimal weather and clock designs to pick from, and the one that I'm using is called Impulse Light. I've also got it set up so that when I tap on this widget, it opens up a new weather app I'm trialing called Weather Timeline. Now, I've been using the Yahoo weather app for ages, but I'm really digging the minimal material design-esque look and feel to the Weather Timeline app. You have this clean home screen that shows your current location as well as any you pick from, and then clicking on any of the locations opens up a much more detailed look at the weather. Check it out if you love material design. I'll have it linked in the description below, as I will every app I mention in this video. Next up, the wallpaper I'm using is from the Backdrops application I mentioned in my top 5 Android apps of June, and this one is found under the minimal category and it's called Full Moon. Now, I have the free edition of Backdrops, which means you can't save the wallpapers locally, but if you long press on the set button, you can select to position your wallpaper using the launcher that you use. It took some trial and error to get it exactly where I wanted, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Following that, the next thing I wanna point out before we get to the apps and setup itself is that I'm actually using Samsung's Good Lock UI across my entire phone. Now, I'm not gonna go into too much detail as I've got a whole nother video covering this app altogether, which you can watch by clicking the card button here. But as you can see, this basically gives a very stock Android look to TouchWiz. In the full video, I did mention that I would start using this permanently if they made a way to change the background color of the notification shade, which they did, and so now I'm using it permanently. If you want to get your Samsung Marshmallow device looking like mine, here's the color theme I've set up, and here are the advanced settings I've enabled and disabled to get it as close to stock Android as possible. Alright, we're back to the home screen, and the icon pack I'm now using is called Clicks, which is free on the Play Store, but basically it brings this really elegant rounded square look to the app icons. So on the top row, we've got 5 apps that I use super regularly: Google Maps, Gmail, YouTube, the Google Play Store, and WhatsApp Messenger. And then below that, I have 4 folders filled with a variety of apps. So I'm not going to talk you through every single app, but in this first folder, I'm back to using Shuttle Music, mainly just because I love the clean material design. In this next folder, I'm using My Mail for my work emails. I just like to separate my personal and work emails into separate apps, so that's why I use that. This third folder, I'm still using Wunderlist for my reminders. And this fourth folder, I have this app called Tempo, which is basically a metronome app on steroids for drummers and musicians alike. Down the bottom here on my dock, I still have my most used apps, all of which are using the built-in Marshmallow icons from Nova Launcher. And so we have the stock Samsung dialer, Messages, which is actually a new messaging app I'm trialing out called Or SMS. And the main reason I love it is because pretty much every single aspect of this app is customizable. It's actually ridiculous. So you can change everything from the theme colors to the font size and weight, the position of your contact avatars, the colors of your conversation bubbles, and so much more. And then on top of that, it has this really minimal overall look, as well as this clean inline reply feature, which you do get with the stock Samsung Messages app, but this one looks a little bit nicer and functions a little bit better as well. And you can change how that looks too. Anyway, it's super early days yet of using this app, so who knows, maybe there may be issues around the corner, but for now, I'm absolutely digging it. Anyway, next to that is the app drawer, which, as a lot of people have been asking about, is a fingerprint icon that comes from an app called CandyCons. And then next to that, I'm back to using regular Google Chrome, no longer beta, and I've made sure to switch off auto updates because they removed the multitasking tab view in the beta version and have since removed it from the regular version too, but I personally love that feature, so I'm going to keep using the old one until they bring it back. And then finally, next to that, I have the Samsung Contacts app. Beyond that, I've got 4 awesome gestures set up through Nova Launcher that I love. So the first one that I've mentioned heaps is to swipe down anywhere on my home screen to bring down the notification panel. The second one is a 2-fingered swipe down on the home screen, which will open up the expanded notifications. The third one is so that when I swipe up, it'll bring up the Google search overlay. And finally, the fourth gesture is set up so that when I swipe up on my apps list icon, it will open up the full screen of Google Now with all of my cards and whatnot. Aside from that, the only thing to mention is that I still use Tesla Unread to show all of my unread notification counts, which is absolutely necessary if you're a Nova Launcher user, and it's become way more reliable since I made a video about it around a year ago, and it was pretty decent back then too. But anyway, that's me. Let me know your thoughts on my setup in the comment section below, or any suggestions that you might have to improve my setup. But until the next video, thanks heaps for watching, and I'll catch you later.